By way of a quick explanation, this is the Dempseys where I was taken when I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 from Buckingham Palace. My Uncle George, the illegal George VI, helped kidnap me. He's with Roosevelt and Elizabeth's mother. She's illegal. George helped take down my father, Edward VIII, with he helped the Kennedys, who was appointed ambassador to England by Roosevelt, a Jew, Rothschild's Jews, Rockefeller's Jews, Kennedy clan, and then my dear uncle, and some more. Churchill got in on it, and later Eisenhower. I would assume that all the presidents except Jimmy Carter up until now knew all about my kidnapping and everything. This woman married a double. She never wed my... She wasn't married to my father. This is an imposter. They became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. This is my dad, Edward VIII, a beautiful man. And by the way, stop some of these people claiming to be who they aren't. This is George O'Keeffe, my aunt. My mom was married to my father, and I don't have that picture. Larry Flint, that's the double, or one of them. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. This is an April 84 issue of Hustler, and it was a program shooting, mind control used. I wrote about mind control back then, and he was shot and later flew me out to his home and helped me in a campaign with Larry McDonald when he was a congressman, U.S. congressman, physician I wrote about in Atlanta. He worked at Piedmont Hospital. By the way, that was quite a crowd. There. Group, you should hear about it. There was a good group there, though. Anyway, I'm going to go on. Larry Flint, look at what happened to this man. He did try to help, okay? Now, I want to get to this. This is the family. This is me. It was 43 when this was made. And this was staged. They did not have this kind of clothes, no cars, and they don't show the shack. But it's not just that. It was a horrific crimes and the way I was abused. Okay, this is, their name's Dempsey, and that's the name. This woman had twins. She's a psychopath. She killed them. They were born out of wedlock, and they dropped me off here by way of JFK. His father was Joe Kennedy, appointed ambassador by Jew Roosevelt, president. And they helped in dumping me off here outside Cortland Air Base that had just been built in 1941. This is 43. Now then, the reason I'm showing you, these are my friends here. And I've hesitated to use this photo at times because I don't want to get them in trouble. But they came here, and this is like cryptic, okay? Mike Dempsey, they're actually, a lot of this was done in crypt. And Mike Dempsey, actually, it's his name, his two names, the Mike and the Dempsey, that means something to me and fit in patterns, and the Kirby, Dave Kirby, and Young, Dominic Young. And this is the Commonwealth Attorney, Botetourt County. And they're also talking about here, this is the Fincastle paper. Issue was 1997, Wednesday, November the 26th. By the way, I was living up on the Appalachian Trail, and it was cold for quite a few times. Anyway, I want to say this. He's talking about here, they're talking about Princess Diana. I'm just going to say Diana, okay? Because Elizabeth and that brood's illegal. They're war criminals. So, her gowns were being shown. She was giving them away or selling them to charity, or how do you do that with charity? Anyway, this is the Roanoke downtown, the really expensive hotel where they had limos. And can you get it? I'm the real monarch. I'm living on the Appalachian Trail. Here are the Brits. I'm talking about the real Brits who have fought and died, and I hope they're still alive. I hope they are. But anyway, it's kind of cryptic. They make the statement that they came dressed to kill, that they didn't have red carpets and they didn't have limos. they were also referring to me, okay? Now, so they just used the Dempsey name was one of the things, and of course I still have to use the Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. I want to get to this now. I showed Larry Flynn, he was shot. Wrote about mind control and programming, the Virginia Tech and all that. Shootings, a list. But here's what I wanted to get into. I've had an immune disorder. I'm allergic to chemicals. And if I'm fed toxic fumes where you have to breathe, and that's what's gone on. And it's been allowed to go on. And I can't get an attorney. Over time, my immune system attacks itself if I'm around really toxic fumes in a close quarters, which this has been deliberate and keeps me running, bouncing around, and it's really strange that people have allowed it to happen. But anyway, this is one of the chains that started here just prior to my coming October the 20th of 86 to Roanoke area. And I'm going to go ahead and put this. Somebody, he was a long-haul trucker, but I won't tell who he worked for. It was U.S. government, okay? Or was. Okay, they're talking here. He actually had seen some of my videos on YouTube, and he got this paper, and he waited. He found out where I lived, and he gave me this one morning when I went over. They had a little breakfast, and I went over, and he gave me this and told me to read it. And I put it up back then, and I know that it's pretty tough. So, I mean, repercussions. I'm just going to tell you what happened. They have been a part, the Patels and Shahs, of what's happened to me in Roanoke, and it's really been bad. I've been run from one place to the other. They own just about everything here now, and God knows where else. In Charlottesville, I don't know Charlotte, North Carolina, I don't know how many other places they own. But someone I think's a friend, I saw where Shah was just opening a new place in Christiansburg. That's next door to Roanoke where I'm at, and it's also next to Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech and the Virginia Tech shootings happened, the mass shootings that were programmed. They can be proven, by the way. But anyway, he's opening another one, and this paper was 8/15/14 when they opened a new Quality Inn. And here they're saying, I believe that's the Quality Inn he's opening over there, I'm not sure, hotel. But the new ones are really nice, and they have a lot of money just on the land they've acquired. And all I'm going to say here, I'm in one of them now. And I'll say this, when I first got a little money coming in back in, I guess it was 99, it was the first time I stayed here. It was kind of new. And had enough money. I paid a week. And it was nice, and I was so glad to have a place, and I could breathe. Well, the minute I paid for a month, I went down and picked up my money and come back and paid for a month. And by the way, the chemicals started rolling. They come in and next door to me, the only, you didn't have a window or anything, you had the air conditioning. And right away, they bombed the the room next door, and then they banged on my door and came in and demanded to come in. They didn't take no for an answer, and they came in and soaked it with pesticide. And when I tried to get any of my money back from this man, he owned the Ramada Inn, he told me I could walk downtown, which is at least 12 miles in the hot sun on roads and highways that you could get hit at any time. I got down there and the same thing happened, and that's what's happened in all of it. I moved from one spot to the other because I'm so sick, and then I get hit there. And then if you can't get an attorney, people can just keep on, I don't know, keeping you homeless. And I'll say this, the law enforcement gets things on people, whether it's their children, them, or the company, a code violation, a traffic violation, and even more, okay? And people allow themselves to be compromised. They don't have the right to make a deal with law enforcement that they'll drop the charges, etc., in exchange for them doing things against me or for me, I might say, okay? Now, I just want to say this. Goodlat's name is here. And here's his name, just to show you his name is here. And this is all in praise of their new hotel they've opened again here in 14. Got something about the Appalachian Trail being behind it. Oh, whoopee. But my friend said to me, I hope she's a friend, I was telling her about the new one. She said, do you think they'd let you stay there? And I thought, heck no. This has gone on and on and on, and I can't even walk now from the damage done to me, and my kidneys are suffering. So anyway, I want to get this up and see if I can post it. Here is, I thought I had this written down. I tried to. Goodlat, this in his, okay, and some of them showed up. You talking about former governors and all this, and hey, he's an entrepreneur, and I'm just Queen of England that shoved out on the side of the road, so the hell with me. Now then, Bob Goodlat, back when I was living in the National Forest and getting run back and forth and freezing and starving, by the way, they locked me up about 3 different times. They were told to. For, quote, living in the forest, you see, if I had the money stolen from me, or I had been allowed to have an income, or live where they didn't soak me with fumes and make me look like a Looney Tune, I wouldn't have been living in the National Forest, all right, on the Appalachian Trail, suffering and freezing and starving to be off the side of the road. So they delete all that. So anyway, Goodlat was head of agriculture then, and that's over the forest rangers in the national forests. So I would go into his office several times. I haven't been the last years, but I did go in there then several times over a few years. And I also went into John Edwards, and I think he's a Virginia state senator. And it mentions a lot of, in here, former governors. You got Tim Kaine, who ran in with Hillary Clinton for vice president, and the Jens Zorings connection, Jens Zorings, that was a mind control murder. He and Elizabeth Haysom are in prison for crimes they didn't commit. They even talked about him when Kaine was put up for vice president with Hillary. And he made different comments then. Then he was going to let Jens go back to Germany. He was a diplomat's son. That had nothing to do with it. He's in Buckingham State Prison. He's innocent. But I wanted to bring that in. He and Elizabeth Haysom, they were students at University of Virginia in Charlottesville. Now then, who else? I wrote this down. Okay, I wanted to get to this, though. I would go to the offices of Bob Goodlat, and he was the over the agriculture committee then. So in the Congress, Senate, okay. Now then, Edwards was state of Virginia senator, and they both know about my kidnapping, who I am, all of it, at least some of the crimes. They should know them all, the position they're in. The last time I came out, because their offices were side by side at the Sun Trust downtown Roanoke, last time I came out from Goodlat's office, somebody followed me. Got on the elevator with me, and he said, "Lady, if he helps you, he's going to be living in the National Forest with you." I want to remind you today that he is on the committees. I don't know if he's in charge of one, but the 2 main, most important committees, the Intelligence and the Judiciary Committee. All right, now you go on, and I had this written down. Let me remind you, all these people know what I am going through. They know about the mind control murders, the laws that have been broken, and they're sitting up there, and they're not saying a word. Uh, okay, and that gets me for not putting, maybe I got it here, bear with me. Okay, there's former Governor Tim Kaine. I told you about that. Then you've got Mark Warner, former Virginia governor, has to know about me, all of it. He does, and he is now a senator. Okay, there was a couple of more. I did want to mention this because this was in the paper. It's the Clean Air Act, that took place a couple of years ago, I believe, in India. And there was reports after then where several of the governors went with several of these people. I don't mean these people. I like the people from India. Don't get me wrong. But I don't like what's happened to me here, and you wouldn't either. But anyway, they went to India, and the only thing I have to say was the article that I read was talking about they went there and that the things that could happen there with this Clean Air Act, and it met there, the committee on it, and it made it sound like, I think you can guess, who's in bed with who.